Can you tell how many people have been shot?
I think 2 children.
Okay. All right. What was
that
your
I've seen.
There's a girl running down the street saying that her stepfather is killing everyone in her family.
And what did the female say to you?
And she says that her stepfather is killing everybody in her house. I did. I'm on the phone with them right now.
Did she say how or what was happening?
I asked her to get in the car with me, and she said she couldn't leave her family.
Now for what's trending in true crime, and defense attorneys for defendant Chad Doerman want his confession thrown out. They claim that his rights were violated. A motion to suppress the confession was filed by his defense team, saying that Doerman's request for a lawyer after his arrest was rejected by the police. His attorneys allege that the sheriff's office proceeded to question him after he asked for counsel, which then led to his confession. Doerman was indicted last summer on multiple charges in connection to the deaths of his 3 young sons. Prosecutors believe that the Ohio father lined up his children and shot them execution style. Our question this morning, should Doerman's confession be suppressed? Let's bring in our power panel. I have with me jury consultant and human behavior expert Susan Constantine, retired criminal defense attorney Kirk Nurmi, and law enforcement expert Sunny Slaughter. Wonderful to have you all on the show this Monday morning. Kirk Nurmi, I must begin with you. Please tapping into your legal expertise. This guy saying to police after he was given his warnings pursuant to Miranda versus Arizona, he said that he thought he would like to talk to a lawyer, something to that effect. And then he said, I'm going to get some answers for you guys, meaning you police. What do you think? Is that enough to stop all the questioning?
I think it should be. And I tell you, if this was a case that involved, say, possession of marijuana, maybe he was selling drugs, it probably would be tossed. But the fact that he's accused of executing his stepchildren, it probably won't. That shouldn't matter because the Fifth Amendment doesn't have an exception for the worst of the worst. It has to mean the same to the worst of the worst, someone like Mr. Doerman, if he's guilty, as it does to the innocent. He invoked his rights, and it should. That in and of itself, to me, makes it stand and makes it think the confession should be tossed out. Will it be? No. Should it be? In my opinion, yes.
Kirk, thank you for that. Sunny Slaughter, I want to go to you next, please. If the confession is tossed out, let's just say that his attorneys are successful. Let's say police didn't follow proper protocol. Looking at the other case evidence, do you think there's enough to convict him without the confession?
I do. Good morning, everyone. I do think there is enough to at least begin what they have already started, and that is the case against him. But it is really important that law enforcement, because they start everything that happens that we see in courtrooms, they are part of that. So I think it's important that they follow the process, follow the protocols, get it right the first time, so we are not having to do this type of run around as to whether the confession is going to be tossed down or not.
Right, Sunny. It is a strong case. I'm in agreement with you. Last but certainly not least, Susan Constantine, I know you have studied all the footage of him that's been made publicly available. Talk to us, please, about what jumps out at you in watching him when he's there at his house and then later when he's brought in to custody.
Yes, well, at the very beginning, see him in a surrendering position, sitting at the top of the stairs, leaning forward. He was waiting, right? So he had already succumbed to the fact that he's going to be arrested, and he was waiting for them to show up. When you're looking at his facial expressions in the courtroom and throughout, you do see a tremendous amount of stressors in his forehead, lots of worry, dark circles around his eyes, obviously very distressed about it. So I do believe that that is genuine sadness, distress. The question is it because he got caught and he surrendered himself, or that he's remorseful for what he did? So I see a person with severe mental health issues and someone that has been listening to thoughts or voices in his head. And I think that this is something that is very concerning, and you see that written all over his face.
Definitely, Susan. Kirk Nurmi, I want to go back to you. We have time for one more question on this. I pulled up the exact language of what he said because I want to make sure I'm getting it right. According to his attorneys in their motion to suppress the confession, he said, quote, "I'll wait for a lawyer. I really don't know give me a couple of days and let me talk to a lawyer so I can get nice, good answers. Hearing that, Kirk, does that sound pretty clear to you that the questioning should have stopped?
To me, that makes it pretty clear that the questioning should have stopped. The fact that he continued, I think that's where the judge is going to find some equivocation given the facts. So I think that's why it probably won't be tossed. But to me, a declaration like that is enough. As Sonny stated, the police should be following the protocol. They have enough evidence besides that. So why are they doing this? Why are they not respecting rights? I mean, I think in this country, we need to have police officers be held to account and start respecting the rights of the citizens they are supposed to serve.
Kirk Nermy, appreciate it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to switch gears now to the state of Florida, where Ashley Benefield is set to appear in court this morning. She's got a case management hearing today. She's the one we in the court is called the Black Swan, the ballerina, right? The judge denied her request for immunity. Remember that after that hearing?
So they were in an argument?
I don't know. She came in. She was quite hysterical. I didn't know who was banging on my door. Said that he attacked her and she shot him. They've been having trouble.
Okay. I'm just getting that all on the screen, okay?
Okay. I know.
Okay,
it's not what people think it's not what people think it is. I know.
That was a 911 call from a neighbor of Ashley and Doug Benefield's right after the shooting happened. And now Benefield's set to face a jury. She's charged with second-degree murder. Her estranged husband, Doug, was killed while helping her prepare for a family move to Maryland. Prosecutors allege that she shot and killed him to avoid sharing custody of their daughter. The defense team says that Doug was abusive and Ashley was in a fight for her life. So, our question this morning for our power panel: do you think a jury will believe her self-defense claims? Let me bring back in Kirk Nermy, Sonny Slaughter, and Susan Constantine. Susan Constantine, I'd love to start with you on this one, please, as you do jury consulting work all the time. How do you think she may come off, the Black Swan? How might she come off in front of the jury?
I think she's going to come off really well. But prior to this, I would be doing some jury research and also doing some mock focus groups. You know, we've talked about that before, Julie. I wouldn't go in there without doing that to figure out what is the general public, what do they think? And think about her demeanor, her appearance, and all of the evidence that might be presented. Where are some weaks and strengths in her case? And test those way before she actually sets inside that courtroom. But I think overall, if it's presented correctly, yes, I think that she has a good chance of this stand your ground. But I know that that was tossed and they're trying to, of course, re-enter that plea.
All right, Susan. And yeah, and you know, and so the judge made the decision saying, Ashley Benefield, you don't get immunity. She's looking for total immunity. But as you mentioned, Susan, she can still put forth that self-defense claim for the jury. And all indications say that she should, if that is the truth. Kirk Nermy, let me go to you next on this one. Do you think she's got a good chance at being successful on those claims? Why or why not, please?
Well, you know, it's going to be following up on what Susan said. It's going to be, she obviously has to take the stand, right? I mean, she has to describe to the jury how she was in fear of her life and why she felt like she could only take the action she could, why that was the last step. And she's going to be able to have to connect to that jury on an emotional level. They're going to be skeptical, right? They're going to expect someone in her position to say that. She's going to have to connect to them both on an intellectual and on an emotional level. But also the question will become, do the forensics back up her story? We often forget that when we talk about these claims. Yes, it's what she has to say, but what do the forensics say? Do they bear out what she's saying? Because that gives her credibility, that gives her support, that gives her indirect credibility, if you will, when she takes that stand. So her attorneys would be best served trying to put as much credibility in her corner as they can before she takes the stand.
I love that you brought that up, Kirk. Thank you. Perfect point to go to Sonny Slaughter on to take us home. So, Sonny, the medical examiner said that one of the rounds entered the outside of Doug Benefield's right leg, exited the inside of his right leg, and then the other round appeared to have skipped to the right bicep and entered his chest cavity from the right side. And I'm wondering, in your opinion, Sonny, who does this benefit? Does this benefit the prosecution more if it looks like he's not approaching her straight on, or do you think it could be a beneficial fact for the defense?
Well, from the onset, I'm going to follow through with what everyone else has said. It seems like it would benefit the prosecution that he was not posing a threat at that particular time. But then from a defense perspective, you would think that a person engaged in a volatile relationship and in the fight of their lives, that they are reacting and not necessarily responding directly to an immediate threat because they are still in fight or flight mode. So I think the evidence is showing that it benefits the prosecution, and the defense must do what is necessary to, as Kirk said, turn that forensic into a power play for her.
Sonny Slaughter, great points. Wonderful analysis from you all. As per usual, we love having you all on opening statements. Thank you so much. When we come back, we're going to be breaking down the lurid allegations surrounding the lawsuit that alleges sex trafficking and sex assault filed against Vince McMahon. Could any criminal charges be forthcoming? We'll talk about it next. And we're gearing up for another tough day of testimony in the trial against the Oxford school shooter's mother. So how might the emotional moments in the courtroom tip the scales of justice?